I had a really good question from one of my YouTube videos. I did a Rebel song on the intersection of spirituality and mental health, and somebody posed the question in the comments, how do you tell the difference between a mental break and a spiritual awakening? I mean, what about these people who are clearly connected, but then are getting really, really dark? I'm going to tell you my feelings about mental breaks and mental illness and spiritual openness and spiritual awakenings. But I want to be really clear that I am not against modern medicine, mental health practices, and even medication, psychiatric medication, where it is needed and appropriate to help people who are struggling function in our society. So that being said, my belief, mental illness and spiritual connection are not mutually exclusive. The two can coexist. You know, when I had my spiritual awakening, I was nuts. I was out of it. I didn't make any fucking sense. I was babbling all the time. If I had been around the wrong people, I could have easily been put into a mental break category. Maybe it was a mental break. Maybe there was a mental cracking that needed to happen for me to move into the spiritual realm. I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. But I believe that there is something too in ancient times and cultures, a person displaying mental illness like bipolar or schizophrenia is seen as somebody who is breaking open to the other side, and they are then taken under the wing of the shaman, the spiritual master, and guided for years to hone and master these spiritual gifts that are breaking open in them. But we don't live in that culture. We live in a very different society where being functional means that your brain has to function a certain way. And I believe that people who are born into a body with a mental and experiencing a mental break can also be experiencing a spiritual opening, but they're not here necessarily to take it in the same direction. There's a different experience that they're here to have with that in this body. Now, in terms of whether somebody goes really dark with their mental illness and spiritual connection, like I feel like when people are hearing voices, I feel like they're hearing spirits. I think they are connecting to something on the other side of the veil that's not always light and bright. Fear is the number one killer of our frequency. And when we don't know where these voices are coming from and when they're saying horrible things to us, then our fear level ramps up and that drops our vibration, and that can attract a lot of negativity, negative energy, and potentially negative entities. So if somebody's experiencing a lot of fear with this, it would be really sort of normal, I would think, for the vibration to spiral downward and the intensity of the negativity and the fear to ramp up. Now, I don't necessarily think that the solution is, oh, you're having a psychotic break, you're having a schizoid episode, you just need to not be scared of it. I don't think that's reasonable, not for the society that we live in. And I believe that when somebody is having a mental break, i.e. a spiritual deconstructing or an intuitive channeling deconstructing that is happening, we're living in a time where we need to help people function in our world, to keep them safe in our society, to keep them healthy. And so I believe that there's a place for our psychiatric community and even psychiatric medications to cobble together the physical component of this equally spiritual experience and move people into a life that is, again, safe for them. I do feel that you could approach it from the other side of that as well, from the spiritual aspect, managing one's fear, managing one's spiritual practice, spiritual path, spiritual connection, the body connection, the diet connection, getting out into nature, that kind of a thing. I feel like those two things in our society can come together and be really impactful for people who are here in this body having that experience. And to be clear, I feel like both things are true. There is a mental and even a biological component happening, a physical component and a spiritual component happening. But I don't feel like it's reasonable. I really don't think it's reasonable to say, let's take them through shamanic experiences and get them in their spiritual mojo. Even in cultures that have done that with people who have displayed mental health breakdown, symptoms of a mental health breakdown, it takes years of intense guidance to pull people through that experience and get them grounded and expanded into this purely the spiritual aspect. And our society has no structures or resources to do that for people who are having mental health issues and mental breakdowns. And I think that's okay. I think that is the experience that we are having. There's real healing and real powerful experiences coming into this life and experiencing that. And I want to say again, this is my feeling and my thoughts. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a licensed therapist. I am a minister. I am a spiritual healer, and I am an intuitive. But I encourage you in your own life to follow your own heart, your own intuition, your own truth for your own mental processes, mental health, and for the people you love, for the people in your life. I'm very interested to hear what you think and what you feel. So leave a comment and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to dive more deeply into this kind of thing. Love ya.